this goes well because my mic is doing a really weird thing right now. So I'm hoping that it stops doing it. Today I'm just gonna be doing a video where I'm just talking. I guess I should say this as well. So this past like week or so I had COVID and wasn't fun. Wasn't fun at all. But while during that time I'm wearing a shirt, by the way. Kinda looked like I wasn't because of how the mic was. Okay. Hopefully that's a bit better. But yeah, because of, being home, I ended up watching a lot of movies. These were like movies that one of my coworkers recommended, and also a YouTuber I watch. She makes like horror movie and just horror content in general, and I was watching her, and she recommended some of these, so I decided to watch them because I was bored. I'm just gonna give you my thoughts on them, kind of give you the description of them. I'm gonna try not to spoil anything. I'm very bad at that, so I'm gonna try to keep it to a minimum. And I also rated all of these, so I don't know. I just thought this would be a fun video, and kind of different than what I usually do. So yeah, let's just get started. I don't know if I should do this in order of like which ones I didn't like to the ones I most liked. I guess I will start with the one. I don't know if I'm going to do it in order exactly, but I will start with the one that I didn't like, or I liked the least, which is Creep. And I'm looking at my phone, by the way. That's where I'm going to be looking at like the descriptions of movies, and I have like the list on my phone as well. So I love tapping on phones. So okay. So yeah, this movie it is a horror slash thriller that was made in 2014. I don't know why I didn't like it. It's basically about, so let me just read you the description that it has on Google real quick. It says, Aaron answers an online ad and drives to a stranger's house to film him for a day. The man wants to make a movie for his unborn child, but his requests become more bizarre as the day goes along. I don't know. It was very, it wasn't as creepy as I thought it was going to be. Like, it's creepy, sure, but like, I was expecting it to be more creepy than it was. Which, I mean, by all means, it is very creepy. But it was just like, eh. Like, I don't know. I don't think I'd ever watch it again. I don't know. I just didn't think it was that great. Like, he films him in the tub. That was really weird, but like, I think it's just because I knew that it wasn't real. That's why I was like, sure, maybe I'm very uncomfortable at times, but it was just kind of like, I don't know. So, I gave it a 2 out of 5. Yeah, it wasn't my favorite. And let's see, Melancholia. I watched a movie called Melancholia. It was okay. I feel like I'm gonna say that for every freaking video or movie, I guess, that I didn't really like love, but I didn't really hate. This movie is about a planet hurtles toward a collision course with Earth. Two sisters, one of them trying to recover from a heavy bout of depression in a failed marriage, cope with their destiny in very many ways, or very different ways. I don't know. The beginning was kind of like, because it's the sister in the beginning, she's like they're having this big wedding, but she's just like depressed the entire time. I don't want to be mean, but like the beginning part was just kind of like, I was kind of over it, like about halfway through, because it's like one part is like one of the sisters, and then the other part is the next sister. And I really like the second sister's like part better, just because I was just like, okay, we get it. Like she's whining about like her marriage and everything, which doesn't really give us any much backstory. It just kind of like if he's abusive or anything, she just doesn't want to marry him basically. And I'm just like, okay, like I just kind of got tired of it halfway through. But the second part, it's like basically the other sister like being like panicking about this planet that's supposed to be hitting Earth basically, but her husband keeps saying that it's not going to. He's like a scientist. I don't know what kind of job he has, but he's knowledgeable about what was going on. And so he was trying to calm her down, and I just liked that part of the movie way better. So, yeah, but overall, I gave it a 3 out of 5. Yeah, 3 out of 5. Also, I'm not like a movie critic at all, so don't like come for me for some of my opinions. This is just my opinion, and it's for fun. Like if you liked some of these movies, then I didn't hate any of these movies. Maybe besides Creep, but I didn't hate any of these movies. But if some of these are like your favorite movies, do not take offense to them. Okay, let's get into Starry Eyes. Starry Eyes was something that the YouTuber that I watched, that I talked about earlier, recommended. It's about a hopeful young starlet uncovers the omni. Oh, I read this wrong the other day. I was trying to tell my coworker about it. Oh, okay. A hopeful young starlet uncovers the ominous. I don't know why that took me so long to try to figure out how to say. Origins of the Hollywood elite and enters into a deadly agreement in exchange for fame and fortune. This one's kind of like an interesting, like I liked the, like I don't think I've ever seen this done in a horror movie where they, I don't know, it was different. It was different. It was very different. It was made in 2014. It's a horror / fantasy. It was good. The gore in it was very intense, so keep that in mind if you want to watch this movie. It was pretty crazy towards the end. Didn't really, I don't remember because I gave this a 3 out of 5. I'm wondering why I gave it a 3 out of 5. It's just because one of these, I was comparing it to one of the movies I watched, which was a 5 out of 5. So I think that might have been the reason I gave this a 3 out of 5. But yeah, overall, I really liked it. It was more interesting than some of the ones I watched. So let's go into Misery. Misery, which I don't know if, I'm sure some of you have probably watched this before. It's pretty popular. It is with Kathy Bates. I love Kathy Bates. It's about a novelist, and he gets into a serious car crash and is rescued by former nurse Annie Wilkes, who claims to be his biggest fan. And then Annie brings him to his cabin, or her cabin, to recover, where her obsession takes a dark turn when she discovers Sheldon is killing off her favorite character from his novels. So yeah, it's very, I wouldn't say this was a horror. I think it was more like a thriller. The only part that really disturbed me was the part where she put the block of wood in between his legs, and if if you've watched it, you know what part I'm talking about. That was the only part that made me like cringe a lot. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty sure if I'm hearing correctly, this was like one of Kathy Bates' first movies, if not the first movie, like big movie she was in. So that's pretty awesome. Kathy Bates did a great job in this movie. She truly terrified me. Overall, the movie, I gave it like a 3 out of 5 again, just because I noticed I wasn't paying much attention in the beginning, just because I was like, okay, like, because it was just kind of like boring at first, because she was just being normal at first. She was being like, you got in a crash, like, here, take care of you, like all this stuff, and then it takes a turn, and that's when it kind of gets interesting. So, I also gave that one a 3 out of 5. The Mist. The Mist. Misery is also based off a Stephen King album. The Misery is also based off of a Stephen King book, and then, or novella. I don't know the particular term. And then also this one is based off of a Stephen King short story, whatever you want to call it, as well. So I watched The Mist. Never read the book. And basically it's about after a powerful storm damages their main home, David and his young son head into town to gather food and supplies. Soon after, a thick fog rolls in and engulfs the town, trapping the son and his father and others in the grocery store. Terror mounts as deadly creatures reveal themselves outside, but that may be nothing compared to the threat within, where a zealot calls for a sacrifice. Oh gosh, it sounds pretty crazy, but yeah, I liked the story behind this. I think that's a pretty interesting take. That I mean, I could only imagine this happening to me. I'd probably be freaking out. Where, I'm like trapped in a store with a whole bunch of people and there's just fog outside. And, of course, when it first starts happening, like people are like doubtful, and they're like, okay, like I don't know about that. So they like go outside. And stuff gets pretty crazy. Yeah, I gave this a 3 out of 5, just because of the ending of the movie. I know that I've heard that the ending isn't the same in the books as it is in the movie, but I was so annoyed. Oh, I was so annoyed. So that's why I gave it a 5 or a 3 out of 5. Just literally because of the ending, because I hated the ending. I was so angry. I was so mad. Triangle. Okay, now I'm starting to actually go. I realize I'm going in order now because I'm going from 2, 3, 3.5, 4, and 5. So we're just gonna go in order, I guess. Triangle. This one is pretty interesting. I wasn't expecting much from it. It was made in 2009, and I don't know. I wasn't expecting a lot because of I don't know, the description of the movie sounds kind of like generic, and I was like, okay. But I'll tell you the description here real quick. It's yacht passengers encounter mysterious weather conditions that force them to jump onto another ship, only to have the odd havoc increase. That doesn't really give you much description of the movie. Basically, a group of people, they crash their yacht, and they're just, it's like flipped over, and they're just standing on the bottom of it, and they're just like waiting for somebody to pass by, basically. And a big cruise ship passes by, and they end up getting on it, but only to find out that they're not really finding anybody on the ship. it kind of gets pretty. I don't want to give too much. It's not what I was expecting, basically. Um, so I really kind of enjoyed this movie more than the other ones that I have talked about because of that. Just because it was such a twist that I guess I wasn't expecting. My coworker said he didn't really like this movie, but whatever. People can have different opinions. It's fine. It's totally fine. But yeah, I kind of enjoyed this. So I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. Let me talk about a movie that I have seen already before I watched it this past week or so. But I just wanted to watch it again because I kind of forgot about it and didn't really know where to watch it. So, Sorority Row. Um, I know that I guess this is a remake, which is kind of disappointing because I thought it was its like own thing, but I've never seen the original. I am so sorry. um, but I watched the original, or not the original, the remake. At least I think it's a remake. Please correct me if I'm wrong. The one in 2009. Also, I couldn't believe Carrie Fisher was in it. I saw her and I was like, she looks familiar for some reason. And then I was looking up the movie and the cast came up and I saw Carrie Fisher and I was like, that's who was in it. That's who that was. Oh my gosh. So that was awesome to see her in. But basically, so let me tell you what it's about a little bit here. So Cassidy, Jessica, Ellie, Claire, and Megan are sorority sisters and true blue friends to the end, until a prank gone wrong results in Megan's demise. Rather than risk their futures by reporting the crime, the friends agree to cover it up. Cassidy and company come to regret the decision a year later when someone begins sending them videos of the night Megan died, and they fall victim to a deadly stalker. So, I remember watching this in high school, and maybe that's the reason. This is the reason I'm scared of sororities. I'm not really, but I don't know. They always creep me out a little bit, so maybe that's why this movie's probably why that is. Um, but yeah, it's really good actually. I still think it holds up. At least in my opinion. The beginning kind of irked me because it just because like the sisters, the sorority sisters, are just like really mean to each other, and it was just kind of getting on my nerves. I'm like, y'all, just be nice to each other. So that was kind of getting on my nerves, but that's not really important. Um, but yeah, overall, it was really good. I think I really do enjoy this movie. I think that this is a movie that like a lot of people would enjoy. I think so. I gave it a 4 out of 5 because I thought it was really good. Jacob's Ladder. Yeah, I didn't realize that this was a remake. So I watched the 2009 version, but I'm not complaining because it had I forget what his name is. Let me try looking him up real quick. Jesse Williams. And he's really attractive to me. If you watch or if you played Detroit Become Human, he plays Mason. I believe is his name. Yeah, Mason. Very good looking guy. So I wasn't complaining. But maybe let me talk to you a little bit about what the actual movie's about. So, after losing his brother in combat, Jacob Singer returns home from Afghanistan, only to be pulled into a mind-twisting state of paranoia. Singer soon realizes that his sibling is alive, but life is not what it seems. With his life now altered, he must figure out what is real and what is not. I think this was a really good. I just thought it was a really good movie. It goes into like how veterans are treated, and it's just really good. Because I'm sure like most of veterans are homeless and just like they are dealing with like a lot of mental issues because of what that they've been through. Because of what they've been through. So it just goes into that a lot, and yeah, it was just really well good. It was really well made, and I really enjoyed this movie. I don't know why I didn't give it a 5 out of 5, but I gave it a 4 out of 5. Don't really know why I didn't give it a 5 out of 5. I might change that, but for now, I'll just keep it at the 4 out of 5. I think there's only a couple here that I have left, so this movie I was not expecting to like as much as I did. Actually, let me take this back real quick. Jacob's Ladder is a 4.5 because I gave this movie a 4.5, and I think I liked Jacob's Ladder as much as I liked this movie, so I think that's pretty fair. This movie I was not expecting to like, but I did because it was different. I really liked it. This is called a movie called It Follows. It came out in 2014, and I remember seeing the trailers and everything for this movie back then, and I was like, this looks stupid, because I just, super harsh on movies, I guess, but I was like, oh, this looks stupid, and I watched it, last week or so, and it's really good, actually. So let me tell you a little bit about what it's about. After carefree teenager Jay sleeps with her new boyfriend Hugh for the first time, she learns that she is the latest recipient of a fatal curse that is passed from victim to victim via sexual intercourse. Death, Jay learns, will creep toward her as either a friend or a stranger. Jay's friends don't believe her seemingly paranoid ravings until they too begin to see the phenomenon assassins and band together to help her flee or defend herself. It does sound a little cheesy, but it's actually one of the better horror movies I've definitely seen. Like, I really enjoyed this, actually. Yeah, you don't really see a curse that is passed through by having sex, so that was something different, and not to mention, what happens is that she gets this curse, and it's basically as if somebody's walking towards you, and it's just something so creepy about it. There's this one part that really freaked me out. It was basically she's like in her friend's bedroom, and she's seeing it, and she locks herself in there, and her friend knocks on her door. Her other friend knocks on her door, and she's like really iffy about it. But her friend opens the door for her, and she's standing there. Her friend's standing there, and she's like, "Hi," and then this 7-foot tall guy it was so. He just comes through the door, and it was so creepy. It creeped me out so much, but yeah, there was something about the movie that just really creeped me out. So I give it a 4.5 out of 5. I honestly might give it a 5 out of 5, but for now I'll just keep it at the 4.5. But yeah, it was, I don't know, there's something so off-putting about that movie, so budget made it, like, I feel like that much better just because they didn't have, you know, all the crazy, like, effects and everything. And so they really had to make sure that the environment and, like, everything was the focus of the movie, which I just realized I'm talking in a whisper. I'm supposed to be doing this video in a soft spoken, so I'm sorry. But I realized that yeah, they had to really focus on like the atmosphere of the movie instead of the like effects and everything, which was really cool. But the ending is really what does it for me, like where she's just like on the back of the truck and she's just laughing and like covered in blood. I just thought that was brilliant. Like, I really liked that part. I don't know if I've watched the second one either. My friend told me to watch it and she said it's more like a comedy, which I guess is a different take, so I don't know. We'll see. But and then the remake I do really like. I do really like that one. I don't know if the only remake that I've really watched is the one with the guy from American Horror Story. Yeah, I gave it a 5 out of 5. I was not really the biggest fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre before. I'm very much a Halloween, Scream person. I never really liked Jason and Freddy. I liked Freddy more than Jason. But Jason I just don't like. I just don't think he's very scary. But yeah, watching these, like the original and watching the remake back, I realized that I really do like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. And hopefully sometime soon I'll watch the second one. I think there's one movie left. I think, yep. And the last movie is a movie I've never watched before, which is crazy because it's such a popular movie, I feel like. And that is The Thing, which is, I know, shocking, probably shocking to some people because it's such a popular horror movie, but I've never really heard of it until recently. Don't know why, but yeah, I'm talking about John Carpenter's The Thing. I'll read you the description. It takes place in remote in remote Antarctica. A group of American research scientists are disturbed at their base camp by a helicopter shooting at a sled dog. Which I was like, is he shooting at the dog? Why is he shooting at the dog? Not to mention he missed like a lot. But hey, if I was on a helicopter, I probably would miss too, so it's fine. When they take back to the description. When they take in the dog, it brutally attacks both human beings and canines in the camp, and they discover that the beast can assume the shape of its victim. A resourceful helicopter pilot, Kurt Russell, and the camp doctor lead the camp crew in a desperate, gory battle against the vicious creature before it picks them all off one by one. This was just a really good movie. Like, the concept is just so different and like really horrifying. Like, especially the effects they used. Like, they didn't, obviously back then they don't really have CGI, so like everything they did to make it look as brutal as possible was just insane and obviously incredible. Like, John Carpenter's a great director. I would totally watch it again. I don't know, there's not much. I don't want to spoil anything for you. But in case you want to watch it and you're not okay with pet deaths or dog deaths or whatever, this movie has pet or dog deaths in it. So, just a forewarning. Because I don't think anybody warned me about that. And so I was like, oh gosh. I think like it's easier to watch movies back then with like animal deaths, just because it's so like you can tell it's fake. Like it gets pretty obvious. But the part where I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a part. I mean, it kind of says it, like the dog starts like killing, like the dog starts killing everything. But the dog turns into this like creature, and it's so crazy that they were able to make that sort of thing back then, and it's just like it's horrifying. So yeah, I went into this with like no spoilers or anything, and yeah, it was just crazy, and I really did enjoy it. It was definitely probably one of my favorite movies. I was gonna say my favorite, but I don't know. I don't really like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, but I will say it's tied with that one. But yeah, it was literally the last week I've just been, or last 2 weeks or so, I've just been watching movies. While I was sick, I mean, I didn't go to work for like a week, maybe, so like I had nothing to do. So I just watched movies, and it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. I still have like a list on my phone of like other movies I want to watch, like American Psycho. Never watched that. Believe it or not. The Sixth Sense, which I've watched before, but I just kind of want to watch it again because it's so good. But yeah, anyway, that is it for this video. I really liked doing this sort of video. And I just wanted to talk about the movies that I watched recently. I'm a big fan of like horror, thriller, that sort of thing. So if you have any recommendations, please feel free to put them in the comments. I'm totally up for watching more horror movies and stuff. So yeah, anyway, that's about it. I'm feeling much better now, by the way. I sucked for a little bit, but I'm feeling much better. And yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. Let me know if you want to see more like this. And I hope to see you in my next video.